title of my talk is Meeting with Your Higher Self. I'm going to explain what I'll be doing before we go through it. There's nothing to be afraid of. It is something you can enjoy if you've got a good imagination. And as we go through each step, then who knows, you may meet with your higher mind for either advice if you want it, or else if you just want to see what he or she has to say, just lean back, enjoy, and have a wonderful time. I started doing this back in the 90s. I was working in the metaphysical arena, trying to learn as much as I possibly could. And one night we had a speaker come in where I was working, and they did this guided meditation. That's the reason I asked Casey not to do meditation today. I'm basically going to do it for you. But when the woman did the guided meditation, I'd never been through it. And I have a rather prolific mind, and believe me, I got into quite a meditation. I was a guard during the Roman era, in which I was helping to control the crowd as these poor people were dragging crosses down the road. As most of you who have known me the 4 years I've been going to this church here, I'm not really what I call a Bible religious person. And for me to come up with basically what looked like perhaps Jesus going to carrying his cross to his death was quite a surprise to me. But then I learned you do come up with surprises sometime. Anyway, I began to train to do these talks myself. And one of the first ones I did was at a pagan conference at a nudist park in Tampa. And I asked the owner if he would like me to do a talk, explain what it was, and he said certainly, but you never know who's going to show up. We do 2 or 3 talks at different areas of the park during the same time. I said, fine. Well, sure enough, 3 people showed up. A husband, a wife, and another woman. And so they laid their towels out, they all laid back and got relaxed. And I was doing my talk and going through it, and all of a sudden, I paused for a dramatic effect. And what we heard was the single lady going, I know I have a relaxing voice, but it was too relaxing for me. So I kind of glanced over at the husband and wife, and they were smiling at me, and I just said, just calm down. They did. And we got through it. The reason I tell you that story, besides it being hilarious, is that night I was at the bonfire. They had put the big bonfire up for the big weekend, and I'm picturing images in the flames, and it was just beautiful. I thought I was the only one there. Have you ever been in a room when you feel somebody is staring at you? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I felt somebody was staring at me. And I turned around, and there she was, the lady who was snoring during my talk. Well, we got to know each other. I found out she was a high priestess at one of the covens who was there, who lived in Tampa. And she wanted to know if I did private readings or meditations, which I said, yes, I do. And she asked to have one, and I said, well, I'm just learning all I possibly can about different areas of this world. Will you teach me some about paganism, about Wicca? She said, yes. And so for 3.5 years, we had a wonderful relationship. I learned from her, she learned from me, which I think is the way we humans should be, learn from each other. But it was beautiful until she moved away to live with her son. Now let me tell you what we're going to do here. I say the talk with your higher mind. We all have that. It's the unknown entity that you have a problem, you sit by yourself, perhaps go into a meditative state, or yoga will do this for you if you do that. But just relax yourself and perhaps you'll get a message. Where? From whom? I don't know. I was told you can either create your own image of your higher mind. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Or you can just come out with a blank image, and who knows, you'll just hear a voice. Or if we get to the final step and you don't receive any message, this is not a test. It's not pass or fail. It's just to enjoy. Okay? So if you don't receive a message, you don't have someone come to you and talk to you, don't worry about it. It may come tonight. You may receive a message right now and not even know it, but tonight as you're going to sleep, oh, that's what I was thinking about. So anyway, this is the way we do it. Let me go through the guided, the way that we go each step if we can, just to show you there's nothing to worry about. The first meetings we had, and I did these for about 3 years, every week we had 30 to 50 people on a Monday night meeting. And it was interesting, some of the people that came in, and when I did this to the people, I had a couple of them tell me, you're hypnotizing me, I don't like it. I can't be hypnotized, she said. And I said, no, I'm not hypnotizing, it's a guided meditation. And it's up to you, you're in control, whether you want to go along or not. And I told them the story about Marcia, my witch friend. And I said, if you start snoring, I'll whack you in the head and wake you up. But I won't do that to you. I will probably be walking around the areas here as I'm talking. So if you hear my voice get lower, it means I'm in the other side of the room. Okay? What we will do is, I'm sorry, I've lost my place here. Just take a second to get back. As I say, we will go through a business of relaxing, rising out of our bodies, going up into the stratosphere. Some of you have seen this. I've done this at a couple of our October meetings. But as we do, we will go watch the skies turn from blue to black as we get higher into the universe. We'll catch the solar wind, and at first we'll go nice and easy and then get faster and faster until suddenly we arrive at our destination. It'll be one humongous building with 999 stories. You'll choose a floor that you want to go onto, get in the elevator, go to that floor, get off the elevator, and go to the room of your choice. Now, the numbers may mean something to you, sometimes they may not. Just pick a number as you're ready and go to that room. As you open the door and you walk in, you may have an idea of what your higher mind will look like physically. They may appear that way, or it may just be a blank room. Don't let that bother you. There's no pass or fail in this. So as you walk in the room, just relax. We'll give you a few minutes to talk with your higher self. I will give you a 1-minute warning to wrap it up, and then we will exit the room, exit the building, and come back on our trip to the church. Everybody happy with that? Did you enjoy it? We haven't done it yet. I'm just asking. Oh, and by the way, you can create, if you want to, not only what your higher mind will look like, or else what it just looks like inside that room. The room has it has no walls. It's not just a room. It is your mind. It can expand to anything. I'm a baseball fan. Chicago White Sox, my favorite team. And so I said, okay, we'll just give this a try. So I opened the door and walked in, and sure enough, I had created the White Sox baseball park, all 50,000 seats of it. Of course, for some reason, I chose to sit in the left field upper grandstand, and not too many people sit there unless they sell it out. But my higher self did show up at one point. Usually, when I do this, sometimes it's a voice that appears in my head, nothing physical. Someone told me, yes, you can make it anything. At one of these conferences I went to, a fellow sang a song called Aphrodite, the goddess. And the part of the song was Aphrodite and her see-through nightie. I didn't make that up, that's the name of the song. And I said, why not? As long as I can make up my higher mind in any form. Well, it worked one time. I didn't get any answers, but boy, I had a good time. So, really, I hope you just enjoy the trip. If you feel like laughing, then do so. Enjoy the trip as we go along. Okay? Everybody understand now where we're going?
Yeah.
Okay. First thing I would like you to do is just relax any way that you like to relax. One fella here likes to sit on the floor and relax. Excellent. Way to go.
About how long is this?
The whole thing takes maybe 10 minutes tops. Aw. Well, once you get in that room, you'll lose track of time.
Well, it just helps me if I have a...
Okay. I hope that answered your question. Okay, if you will, close your eyes. Be comfortable. Take 3 deep breaths. And go in, blow out. Let all your cares go away. If you have a problem, if you have a question, take it with you on your trip. Breathe deeply inside. Pause a minute and let the air out. And then one more for good cause. I want you to feel like you're visualizing yourself sitting in your chairs. Feel relaxed. Feel happy. And as you do, feel yourself rising out of your bodies. Up, rising up slowly to the ceiling. You are no longer in a physical form, so therefore you can go right through the ceiling, right through the roof of the church, rising higher and higher. Look down as you're rising. See the 4-lane highway and the cars and trucks passing by. Look at all the buildings and the mobile homes around our church. And go even higher. Now you're high enough to see the baseball parks for the Little Leaguers, the Babe Ruth Leaguers. Can you see them? Even if you can't, don't worry, it'll come later. As you rise higher, you look around the universe itself, blue skies, white clouds fluffing along, and you feel a joy at the freedom and comfort that you have at the moment. You're rising even higher and the blue skies are now turning to black. You're in the universe now. Just far off in the distance you can see this wind flowing very gently. And you decide to go to that wind and ride the wind for a while. It is the beautiful solar wind of the universe to take you to your place, to talk to your higher self. As you enter the wind, it is a nice gentle breeze, and you float on it, and you feel so relaxed. The breeze is picking up now. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. Enjoy the trip as the breeze becomes a wind and becomes faster and faster and faster. Don't be afraid. Be happy with the feeling that you get. Riding the solar wind. It becomes exciting to you. You feel wonderful and happy. You've never felt this happiness before. It is a tremendous feeling. You know there is no pain, there only be a wondrous feeling as you go. Up ahead you see a light. Right now it's just a very small light. You want to go closer to it. The wind is going to this light. It is your destination. The light is growing brighter and bigger all the time. You know you've made the trip safely as you go into the light. You see in front of you a large building. It is a beautiful color. It is your color, and you love the beauty of it. You get off the wind as it continues to flow past you, and you go into the building itself. The building is 900 stories high. You're to go in, find an elevator, get on the elevator, and pick what floor you want to go to. Either number 2 up to 999. You get to your floor, get off the elevator. There are 999 rooms on this floor. Pick your room, your number, nobody else's. And you go to that room and you're in front of the door right now. You feel safe, you just feel wonderful. You open the door, and as you walk in, it is time for you to commune with your higher self. If you have a question, ask your higher self the question and see what kind of answer you get. I will leave you alone for a few minutes to talk to your higher self. I will give you a 1-minute warning when it's time to finish your conversation, and then ask you to close the conversation, and we will leave to come back here. If you will take a few minutes, or just a minute now, to wrap up your conversation with your higher self, we're ready to return on our trip. If everyone has said their goodbyes, come out of the room and go to the elevator, come down to the ground floor, and come outside the building. Make sure everyone is there. You're feeling happy, joyous. The world has been lifted from your shoulders and you're on a cloud again. You begin to rise into the universe. Get back on the solar wind, which is now coming back home again. You feel the happiness and joy of your trip. Your mind is feeling so wonderful. as you come closer, you see this blue and green bulbous sky. You see the planet Earth. And you feel wonderful that you're coming home. As you get closer and closer, you see the great oceans, the outline of North America, the outline of the United States, Tennessee, Tullahoma, and you float slowly down toward the church. You see it from high up, and now you're going to be floating down through the ceiling, through the roof. You see your body directly below you, and your spirit flows back into your body. And it feels wonderful. Take a moment, take a deep breath, welcome yourself back. It's been a wonderful trip. Even if you had nobody to talk with or have a mental image form in your mind, who knows, it may happen later on tonight or in your dreams as you sleep tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this trip. I didn't hear any snoring, so I think we're all right. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it. Well, I hope we have a lot of people tell about their journey, about what they saw. The business of the rooms, what floor you go to, what room you go to, is just an interesting thing. Do you have a favorite number? Did you pick it? And after you got in, did you actually see a physical semblance? And a woman, one time, I don't know why, but one time I came up with this humongous frog with big yellow eyes. And believe me, at first it put me off my kilter, but I realized, hey, my mind's got a sense of humor too. It's going to be interesting to hear. Hopefully we do have some, or else we're going to have a very small meeting between 11 and 12. But thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Oh, there's one thing I totally forgot to do before I finish up here. I was talking about the meetings I used to do. I wrote a book called The Mountain of Light. And in it, I have a lot of the characters which I met along the way, and I put in the book as different adventures and characters. And I planned one called Nabu, who is a fellow who ran a weekly meeting on Monday night, 7 o'clock. He rented a room and he brought people in, and we had 30 to 50 people there. Now, I attended a Unity and a Unitarian church at the time, in which we had 30 to 40 people, and I think I'm doing better than the Unitarians are. But it was great. Anyway, Nabu would start every one of his meetings with the following. You are the commander of your own universe. Each of you creates your own universal truth. It should not be judged simply because your truth is different from others. I'm here not to teach, but to share what I know to be my universal truth at this moment of time. I ask you to do the same with me. It may help me learn and change my truth by the end of this meeting. Listen to what another has to share, and always remember it is in your power to accept it, reject it, or file it away for future consideration. I also invite your questions. If you don't understand something, please ask. Remember, the only dumb question is the one that is not asked. Remember that as we start our meeting at 11 o'clock.